Doug Kobe is one of the masters at that. So again, he gave up a little bit of the secret when guys are going to pit or if they're going to pit for a tire or not. We'll just have to see if the guys that do pit can come from the back.
Let's take a look at our Stewart's Automotive starting lineup as we scroll through it. You saw Pennick, the winner of Heat 4, and John McKennedy, winner of Heat 5. We're going to pace the field to the green, and that should be an advantage here tonight as we go green at Seekonk.
It looks like Rowan Pennick jumped out to an early lead. You can see him stretching it out almost to the outside wall. Cars are bottoming out, sparks are flying, tire temperatures are coming up, tire pressures are coming up. And you'll see this track consistently all night long, probably run 2 wide, maybe 3.
Great shot to show you how fast they get around this tight bull ring. Pennick still out front. The battle for second. And Arumo in the 12, McKennedy in the 29, and Savory in this mix as well in the 99.
Yeah, Richard Savory, he's not shy to win races here at Seekonk. We've watched him run here quite a bit and run up front, and he's one of these guys that knows his way around.
On board our Seekonk Speedway onboard camera, running with Todd Anarumo as you look back at the rest of the pack giving chase. What a great shot.
That is a great shot right there. You can see these open wheel modified cars and how important it is to keep them tires flat on this racetrack and not slide them across this pavement. I love the fact you can actually hear them actually working the gas pedal where you just can't go on the gas wide open and off the gas. You gotta, and you've heard people talk about it.
Here's Derek.
Ralph, right before we went green, a lot of the modified drivers were really excited about rolling out onto the track right after the NEMA Midgets. The reason why is very simple. They both run Hoosier tires, and the NEMA Midget tires have that real sticky rubber to them. So a lot of the drivers were saying that they're going to have a lot of grip out there, and they're going to try to make their moves for position real early in the race before that Hoosier rubber wears off and the modified rubber starts to run in.
Derek was talking there. We saw Chris Pasteryak in that 15 CT get 8th place away from Keith Rocco. Rocco running the 57.
Yeah, and back up front, Rowan Pennick still in the lead, but Todd Anarumo is really pushing hard down on the bottom as you see the sparks flying from his car.
Yeah, just 10 laps or so into this race, and you can see the advantage to being up front. Now, of course, these guys are going to be catching up to traffic. That could certainly come into play here as well. But for now, Rowan Pennick is leading here at Seekonk on Suzuki Presents Speed Sport. Enjoying the action of the Tri-Track Open Modified Series presented by Seekonk Grand Prix tonight on MAV TV with our Suzuki Presents Speed Sport Series. Up front, still Rowan Pennick in the red 25. Todd Anarumo giving chase. Richard Savory, John McKennedy, and Doug Kobe in the black 2, all hounding our race leader.
It looks like they're battling for a 6th right here, and Todd Zegedy up on the outside. He's not afraid to put his car up there and get it turning pretty good and get that forward bite up off to try to gain some positions.
Zegedy's in that blue 85. He's working with Ron Silk, Chris Pasteryak in the 15, Keith Rocco in this group as well.
Yeah, it's a tight battle. Now that you got position, you probably see him work his way back down to the bottom again and see if he can gain some ground on Pasteryak.
Working our way through the end of the first quarter of this 100-lap race. So if you're our race leader, Pennick, how are you approaching it? You're 4th of the way to the checkers.
I really think he's trying to be patient. Now, he's looking in his mirror. He's looking at how much pressure he's having put on himself and how far he can push his car, because those tires, some guys are going to try to go 100 laps on one set of tires, and we're not really sure what his strategy is going to be tonight.
100 laps on one set of tire. At what point do you feel as a driver that you're going to really start to sense these things have gone away and I've just got to, wrestle it to the finish?
I think what you're going to do is, from a driver's standpoint, feel what your car is doing. If your car is too tight, you want to ease up on that right front tire so you have something for later on in the race. And consequently, if you're loose, you don't want to burn that right rear tire off. So you'll see guys pacing themselves, especially through the middle part of this race, so they have something to race with at the end.
That's probably where Kobe is at, sitting back there in 5th. He's looking inside now, seeing if he can grab 4th. Keep that leader within sight, right, Steve, and not push it too hard.
Exactly, and Doug's doing that. I mean, he's got his car turning really good on the bottom of the corner and driving it straight up off the corner. He knows how to manage his tires, keep that leader in sight, and, you know, right now is not go time for these guys.
McKennedy not going to make it easy for him. The 29 holds on to the position. Let's learn more about the reigning points leader in the Whelen Tour. Here's Derek.
Well, the driver with the most laps here tonight is running in the top 5 right now. That's the Dunleavy's Truck and Trailer number 2 of your defending NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour champion, Doug Coby. Doug Coby just came off the track. He won the Boston Louis Seymour Memorial that they ran just a few minutes ago for the Northeastern Midget Association. Jumped out of that car, had a quick victory lane ceremony, and then hopped in the number 2 to roll out here onto the racetrack. And he started 4th at the drop of the green, and he's slowly working his way to the front.
Yeah, he's doing great, Derek. He's got 4th. As we're watching from Anarumo's onboard Seekonk Speedway cam, Kobe trying to gain some more track position.
You saw that we were talking about patience. You saw that earlier. It was almost a 3-wide move, but I mean, it wasn't really. Doug Coby didn't push that 3-wide. It was almost give it to him because his car was turning so good on the bottom of the racetrack.
Our Suzuki Presents Speed Sport cameras caught the action of the Boston Louis race as well. You can see that here as part of our series on MAV TV also. Pass for the lead, and Pennick finally gives up the top spot. And not only that, but he's going to lose 2nd as well as Kobe moves by.
Yeah, it's Todd Anarumo. He took the lead away, and Kobe seemed like he followed the same path right through on the bottom to get into 2nd. So, and just some excellent racing here at Seekonk.
All of a sudden, Rowan Pennick's machine losing some of its speed. He might struggle just to hold on to 3rd here, Steve.
Yeah, we were talking about tire management, and, you know, right now you don't want to lose sight of the lead, but it does look like he's starting to drift back a little bit, and his car looks like it's starting to get a little bit tight.
Yeah, so now Pennick has to deal with McKennedy and Ron Silk. Don't forget, McKennedy started 2nd, so he's been up near the front of this race majority of the time as well.
Yeah, and Richard Savory, you know, he's like the underdog. You know, we're not talking about him that much, but he's won a lot of races here at Seekonk, and he's working his way into 3rd, and he knows how to pace himself. If you watch him, he's not chasing down Doug Coby, and he's not fading back, so he might be saving his tires for the end too.
Kobe, patient, in 2nd place. And a caution comes out, and this time it's Carl Medeiros again. Remember, he was involved in that incident earlier in the heat races with Ted Christopher, and he spins to the infield. First caution of our 100-lapper here tonight.
Yeah, it's the first caution, and I think he's trying to get spun back around, so we'll see what happens when he gets back in the back.
While they line the field up, let's take the opportunity to get our Oval Speed Unlimited tech tip.
Time now for our Oval Speed Unlimited tech tip. And you wouldn't think that a simple tire wrap helps a crew member go faster during a pit stop on these tires, but it does. When a crewman comes in and he's got the gun and he's going around all the lug nuts, taking them off, sometimes the lug nuts will fall off, they'll go rolling away, and you can't get to them in time. But what the crews will do is they'll take a tire wrap around their belt loop, they'll kink it on the end and slide a lug nut off and onto the stud that needs the lug nut.
Even though this caution came a little early in the race, we might see a few of the teams head for the pits. We're going to take the opportunity to head to break, and we'll be right back with more Suzuki Presents Speed Sport. Back at Seekonk Speedway in Massachusetts, Suzuki Presents Speed Sport still under caution for the first time tonight. The pits are open. Some of the cars have actually chosen to come in for a quick pit stop. Now they can change one tire if they want to, any one of the 4 corners. Here's Derek with an update from the pits.
Ralph, we're already 39 laps into this race already, and drivers are coming in for adjustments. Seekonk, of course, a track you never stop turning, so it's a handling racetrack. Dennis Perry is in. Carl Medeiros Jr. is in. So is Chase Dowling in the number 13. Todd Zegedy, a former modified champion. They're all taking on a right rear and some adjustments right now. Some teams making a quick wedge adjustment, some just doing a stagger adjustment. Like we said earlier, you never stop turning here at the Seekonk Speedway, so handling is always at a premium because the chassis is always under a load.
Thanks, Derek. You're right. You'll see guys put one tire on the right rear, the right front, but another opportunity you'll see is guys changing tires from front to back just to change the stagger with the old tires.
One of the interesting pit strategies of modified racing here at Seekonk. Did you know that in addition to our TV shows, we also publish a monthly magazine? For 82 years, Speed Sport has been the motorsports authority, providing racing fans with all the news, exclusive features, and commentary you can digest. Tonight we have a special offer for you using the promo code Seekonk. You will get a free t-shirt with each Speed Sport magazine subscription. Sign up today at speedsport.com. Well, the field is rolling once again around the racetrack, lined up and ready to go. 39 laps in the books, closing in on the halfway point for our scheduled 100-lap distance here at Seekonk Speedway. Todd Anarumo will start on the pole in the number 12. Doug Kobe alongside.
This will be interesting with Kobe, first time on the outside. We'll see how much grip he gets out there on this restart.
Restart comes on lap 40, and we're racing once again, and Anarumo got a little loose. Kobe's going to take advantage, and the 2 goes to the lead.
That was exactly what Kobe was looking for because he didn't have to work too hard to take the lead over with Todd Anarumo getting loose again there too. It gave him the opportunity not to wear his tires out and take over the lead.
That's Richard Savory on the inside of the red 99, pushing hard to take second, and he will do so going into turn 1. Caution is out, second time of the night. Dan Meservey has spun over here in the blue 45.
Well, it gives us a chance to talk about Doug Kobe, and I mean, just like he said in the earlier part of the race, before the race started, that patience was going to pay off, and he's using his patience and not wearing his car out. So it's amazing he just ended up with the lead, doing a great job.
Watching the field from Todd Anarumo's Seekonk Speedway onboard camera, you know, Richard Savory is having a pretty good run, and he's in the thick of this thing with a shot to win it as well, Derek.
Well, one of the guys that we're going to keep an eye on tonight is that number 99 machine of Richard Savory. Savory is driving the exact same car. He won this race last year. Matter of fact, if you remember in last year's race, he and James Savali went side by side for about 30 laps before Richard Savory finally took the lead and never relinquished it. That's the exact same car, the exact same setup in that car, and Richard Savory is in the top 5 right now.
Biggest challenge he's got is at number 2 in the lead here, Steve. Kobe out front, and that's the best place to save those tires like he wants to do.
It sure is, and John McKennedy, he just rolled into second place on that restart and was able to kind of keep pace with Kobe, so it's really shaping up to be a really interesting race.
Well, the view from our Seekonk Speedway onboard camera is just spectacular, tucked right down on the back of Anarumo's car.
Yeah, and you can see, I mean, it's just impressive to me growing up driving these cars at how these tires grip the racetrack. I mean, 15 inches wide and working all over the racetrack. You know, the in-car camera gives it one of the better views that we haven't been able to see in the past.
Anarumo fighting with Ron Silk. Battle for third, Anarumo, Bonsignor, Savory, and Pennick now in that 25.
You can see those guys getting bottled up a little bit. But Richard Savory, he's doing a great job keeping his car on the bottom, keeping it going straight, and keeping it going up front. So we don't know how much tire he's using or not using and what he's saving, but he's doing a great job.
Steve, keep an eye on Les Hinckley in the 52. That's the white car. Started 23rd. He's up inside the top 10. That's the car James Savali finished second with in this race a year ago.
It sure is, and they're no stranger to Seekonk Speedway. They do an excellent job and bring a great car here week in and week out. And, you know, with Les Hinckley behind the wheel is doing a great job moving up into the top 10.
Stay with us. We're past the halfway point here on Speed Sport. Past the halfway point here on Suzuki Presents Speed Sport. Tonight, the Tri-Track Open Modified Series presented by Seekonk Grand Prix. Ralph Shaheen, Steve Park, and Derek Perniciglio with you as Doug Kobe leads the field to the green. Now, you might remember, Steve, Todd Anarumo had been up at the front, was leading this race for quite a while. And now, during this latest caution, he has gone to the pits and has fallen all the way back to 22nd as we get back into the throttle and back into the race.
Doug Kobe jumped back out into the lead again with John McKennedy there on the outside. Really doing a great job battling to try to get down to the second spot.
The key is Kobe with that inside line. He's able to get right where you want to be, right down to that bottom.
Yeah, I think the biggest key is like what he said earlier. He can pace the field now. He can pace his car. He can pace the field. And as long as he's running strong enough to stay in the lead, he don't have to run his car at 100%. So that's going to pay benefits later on in the race.
McKennedy fighting with Ron Silk. Silk in the 50S. They're side by side, squabbling over second.
Yeah, Ron Silk's no stranger. He's obviously a modified tour winner and champion, and knows how to get his way around Seekonk Speedway. So it's not unusual to see him battling up front. We'll see what he does with Kobe when he takes over that second spot.
Well, they're certainly familiar with each other too, aren't they? And he does pull in front, and McKennedy has other issues now as Silk moves away.
How about that Art Barry number 21 with Justin Bonsignore in there? He's another talented young guy that's pushing his way to the front. He don't have a lot of experience here at Seekonk, but he has a lot of experience behind the wheel of the modified.
Normally in a black and lime green 51, Bonsignore here tonight in that red 21.
Yeah, and that brings me back because I used to race against Mike Ioannisco in the 21 car and the modified car, so that's why it stood out when I saw it, and then I saw the spaff go on the back. It definitely brought back a lot of memories.
Well, big Mike Ioannisco stood out every time he got out of the car, didn't he? He's a big boy.
Yes, he did.
We are past the 60-lap mark. Less than 40 to go here at Seekonk. And look at that chrome bumper getting used a little bit now. Guys starting to push and shove a little bit. Are we closer to go time?
It's getting closer. I mean, I think what's happened is, with the caution coming out for another spin, looks like two cars got together.
Yeah, Keith Rocco, Calvin Carroll, all involved. They were running 25th and 26th. Well, some of the cars are going to make their way to the pits now. This late in the race, this is about when you would think guys would go if they were going to do it. So some that didn't take advantage of it earlier, headed in there now, Derek.
Cars coming in off the track right now to take some attention from their crews. The 85 of Todd Zegedy is in that purple machine. They're going to take an air pressure adjustment. They're also going to put a new left rear tire on the car. Calvin Carroll is also in the 39. The 27 of Andy Jankowiak is in. He's taking an air pressure adjustment. The number 15 of Chris Pastriak is in. Wedge adjustment and air pressure adjustment for the stagger on that car.
Well, here at Seekonk, as you see Zegedy re-entering the racetrack, the cars come from the pits and go through this tunnel a very unique way to get back onto the racetrack. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it really is. And you can see the 85 didn't even jack his car up. All they did was an air pressure adjustment. You saw the guy kneeling down by the right rear tire trying to change the stagger to get the handling back in the 85 car.
Let's see what Silk can do on the outside here of Kobe as we get ready to go back to green. Kobe, Silk, Bonsignore, McKennedy, and Pennick still hunting around in that red 25. Racing again. Well, you can see the cars really bouncing, too, getting into the corner.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. You can see that even with Doug Kobe on cold tires. He couldn't hug the bottom like he could when his tires were warm, and Bonsignore looked like he took a peek under there.
Fourth place fight is McKennedy and Rowan Pennick. Those two side by side there. Behind them is another side by side battle. Wes Hinckley and the 44 of Tommy Barrett. Tommy Barrett running the 44 in honor of the recently deceased Mario Fiore, who was a legend in the modified community. A
true legend in the modified community, and the one thing that I wish I had the opportunity to do in my modified career was race for a legend like Mario Fiore, and every time that 44 rolled into the racetrack, that was a car to beat. And when Tommy Barrett, usually running the black number 9, he re-lettered his car with the 44 in the memory of Mario Fiore, who helped Tommy Barrett actually groom his career and won a lot of races. So to Mario and his family, our heartfelt thanks are out to them.
Well, he did so much. He won so many races and championships and helped build the careers of so many drivers and crew chiefs. Caution now once again. Dan Meservey has some heavy damage. While we take care of Dan Meservey's flat tire, let's visit the Seekonk Grand Prix. It opened in 1989 by Wayne Darling and NASCAR Sprint Cup Series driver Ken Schrader. The Seekonk Grand Prix is family fun on 10 acres of land with 4 go-kart tracks, including a slick track, miniature golf, bumper cars, and of course, bumper boats and a game room. The Seekonk Grand Prix logo has been seen on various types of race cars over the years, including NASCAR Whelen Modifieds, NASCAR Can-Am Pro Series cars, late models, and numerous weekly short track machines. The Grand Prix also holds charity and fundraising events for injured drivers or helping anyone in the local racing community. We're proud to have them as part of our modified coverage tonight from the Cement Palace. Field still rolling under caution here on Suzuki Presents Speed Sport. Ralph Shaheen, Steve Park, Derek Pernisiglia with you. Once he has gotten out front, the man behind the number 2, Dunleavy's Truck and Trailer Repair machine, Doug Kobe, has been pretty tough, Steve.
Yeah, he's been pretty tough all night, and then pacing this field. I think he's right in the position of where he wants to be to lead the field and try to keep those tires underneath his race car.
Bonsignor going to take a shot at him on the outside in that red 21.
Yeah, doing a great job using the outside to get that bite up off the corner. But we watched earlier that 2 car was struggling a little bit on cold tires, but once he gets a little bit of heat in those tires, he's able to pull back out front.
Less than 30 laps remaining here tonight.
It's really starting to shape up to be one heck of a race.
Ronnie Silk is running in 3rd. Let's hear more about the driver in the 50. Here's Derek.
Ronnie Silk runs in the top 5 right now in that number 50 machine. That's a car he runs part-time when he's not on the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. When he races on the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, he drives the number 82 car for Danny Watts, but he knows his way around a modified in general. He's a former NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour champion.
We heard earlier, Steve, that there's drivers from multiple divisions of modified style racing throughout the Northeast competing here tonight. Those tours all fairly similar in what they do with their rule book.
Yeah, they are, and they're trying to keep them as similar as possible so they can get these big car counts.
Les Hinckley having a pretty good run as well. He's in 5th tonight, Derek.
Ralph, we are keeping an eye on that white Seekonk Grand Prix sponsored number 52 machine of Les Hinckley. He started 22nd at the drop of the green. This is the car that James Savali ran last year and ran side by side with Richard Sabry for about 30 laps. He ended up finishing 2nd in the race, but he has a very good piece under him. Crew Chief John McKenna turns the wrenches on that car, and he knows how to set up a race car for this track. He's got tons of wins here in late model and super late model competition. So Les Hinckley, with a very fast mount underneath him, came from dead last in his heat race to win that, and now he's coming from deep in the field to try to win this race tonight.
Well, the key to that setup is going to be what's your setup like for the late stages of this race. The Pasteryak asphalt lap counter is clicking away. We're down to 20 laps to go.
We were talking about when is it going to be go time. It's go time now, and these guys are going to be pushing for all they got.
Bonsignor really starting to work the backside of Kobe. Kobe a little bit higher that time going into 1.
Yeah, Kobe's moving around. I mean, he's using his experience here at Seekonk to really look for grip on the racetrack, and that's what all these guys are doing right now in these late stages.
If he opens that door up a little bit, Bonsignor's really going to shove it wide open because he'll push his way past.
Well, I mean, that's why it's typical they got the chrome horn on the front of these cars.
Caution is out. A couple of cars facing the wrong direction. Calvin Carroll is one of them. There's Calvin in the 39. Well, that's going to slow the field down and give them one more shot at Doug Kobe.
Yeah, it will, and you'll see that happen as we come back.
Have you signed up for the free daily presented by General Tire, specifically developed to support your addiction to all motorsports? This free source of racing news was able to capitalize, but the 21 is quick. Let's hear from Derek.
Well, everybody knows that red number 21 when it comes to open wheel modified racing. That car is the Spear Point Auto Fabrication sponsor number 21 of Justin Bonsignor. The car owner is Art Barry. He has won championships in the past with some famous names like Mike Stefanik, and he's had some very talented drivers behind the wheel of his car over the year. He doesn't run the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour as much as he used to. He runs more of the independent series that race around this area. The car is still that familiar red number 21 with Long Islander Justin Bonsignor behind the wheel.
Bonsignor hailing from Long Island. That means he's run Riverhead quite a bit, and that's a small bull ring too, Steve.
Yeah, and that's where he cut his teeth, and Justin's an excellent driver, and you know it's really interesting to see watching these guys. I mean, they are racing like you wouldn't believe. I mean, Justin going from the outside to the inside and back again.
Oh, look at this. 7 cars involved over here on the straightaway, including Anthony Cecily, Jeff Rocco, Carl Medeiros again, Brandon Dion. All of these cars are fighting outside of the top 20. And some heavy damage, too.
Yeah, heavy damage. These guys were racing around the 20th spot, I think, and I don't know if we have a shot of what caused it, but there is some heavy damage on these cars.
That's Carl Medeiros' machine that they're backing up to, the 50. There's, Brandon Dion in the 04. Looks like he might be able to drive that one away.
Well, they don't call these Nerf bars on the side for no reason. Is that the 21 car?
Yeah, that's Bonsignor. Now, he is stalled out on the track.
You can see his gauges are all the way down, like he's having some sort of issue with the engine's not running. He was just doing a fantastic job in second place, and now he's waving to get a push. Unbelievable.
I'm sure a lot of frustration inside of the 21 car for now. Well, it fired up.
Yeah.
So Bonsignor rolls away. Here's a look. See if we can figure out what happened from Anarumo Seekonk Speedway onboard camera.
Yeah, you can. Just a lot of pushing and shoving it. You can almost hear the throttle where he backed up a little bit. Maybe something in front of him caused him to check up. And when everybody checks up like that, it's really hard to see in front of you. And you end up getting into the back of somebody and causing a wreck.
And there goes Medeiros' car on the record. Well, this will cool those tires down again, too.
Yeah, it will. And like I said, it'll give them the opportunity. Look at that, the double wrecker, the dreaded double wrecker. And believe it or not, that's really hard to do. I give a lot of credit to the tow truck drivers being able to get this car off this speedway.
If I'm Rocco, I might have crawled out of the car before they picked it up like that. We'll be back for the finish from Seekonk. Enjoying the action of the Tri-Track Open Modified Series presented by Seekonk Grand Prix tonight. That's our featured event here tonight on Suzuki Presents Speed Sport. It's been a pretty good race. The modifieds here at Seekonk on this type bull ring, always exciting. These last few laps should be no different. And Bonsignor in the 21 got the car going again. He's lined up second for this restart.
Yeah, he got that push and got the car back going again, so he's lined up second as we go back to green.
Kobe by far the guy to beat on the inside in the black too, but that car's been loosening up, Steve.
We kept talking about it on cold tires. It seems like it takes him a lap or two to get some heat in those tires. But once he does, he's able to pull back out into the front again.
The Pastor Yak Asphalt lap counter says there are only 10 laps remaining.
Keep an eye on Ronnie Silk down on the bottom. You know, he keeps inching his way up, and I mean it's go time now, so you know he's giving it all he has, and none of these guys are worried about tires anymore.
Silk in that white 50, he's got second place. In Bonsignor, it's not just the electrics or the engine that are giving the 21 problem. It looks like the tires are going away.
Yeah, I mean stuck up on the outside there. I mean it just seems like he's tried everything he could to try to take the lead. Overheated his tires, and now it's not paying any dividends as he's dropping back on the outside. One of the guys we haven't talked about all night long, how about Money Matt Hirschman? I can't tell you how many races I've gone to when there's a lot of money on the line, in the late stages of the race, Money Matt Hirschman shows up.
Here he comes in the red 60, but Kobe's going to be tough. Kobe fighting with Silk. The two former NASCAR Wheel and Modified Series champions battling for the win here tonight at Seekonk.
And these fans are definitely not disappointed. I mean, look at Ronnie Silk run right up on the back of Kobe in the 2-car, and now try to wheel it up on the outside. So, you know, they're trying to do that pass-over move. You can see Kobe going high and low, trying to block his position. But Ronnie Silk's doing the best he can to try to work the outside. If he can't work the outside, turn down to the bottom.
He's going to have to push hard. Closing in near the checkers. Just a handful of laps left here at Seekonk. Our Pasteryak Asphalt lap counter showing 2 laps remaining.
And these fans are not disappointed. Even with Rome Pennick, we saw him drop back earlier, and now he worked his way back up to third again.
White flag is out. 1 lap to go. Kobe protecting the bottom. Down into 3 and 4. Coming to the checkered flag, and Doug Kobe will win here tonight at Seekonk with a Tri-Track Open Modified Series presented by Seekonk Grand Prix. Well, he did just what he said. He didn't take any tires. He got to the front, protected those tires, and got the win.
He sure did, Ralph, and what a great job. I mean, if you wanted to see a good modified race and the way these guys manage these tires on a track that you're always turning on, Doug Kobe did it the best. But some of the guys that impressed me was Ronnie Silk, coming right back up to challenge him for the lead on the last couple laps.
Well, it was all about the veteran experience, wasn't it, for all the guys in that top group? We'll be back to talk to our winner on Suzuki Presents Speed Sport after these words. The Tri-Track Open Modified Series has been brought to you by Suzuki. Visit SuzukiCycles.com for Suzuki's full lineup of motorcycles, scooters, and ATVs.